It's always easy money, Tristan. Guys, what was I just telling Tristan right now? I said, guys, it's easy money when you step on to the Split Decision podcast screen, and that he is our returning guest, a long friend of mine. Somehow, some way, Tristan, I think it's been, 4 years?
Yeah, man.
It's been a while. It's been a while that we've been knowing each other. Met him freshman year, all the way back. He has been a guest. I meant to find out what specific episode you guest starred on, but I would have to guess. I mean, this will be our 52nd, and I don't know. What do you think? How long ago has it been? Has it been more than once? Has it been once? It's been twice.
It was just once. I've asked a few questions here and there, but I think it was 2 years ago when I was on last. So
Time flies. Time really does fly. Time really
yes,
does
sir.
fly. And since that time, we've graduated, done other things. And this guy, Tristan, I have always kept up with his social media because he's just like one of the coolest white guys you ever meet. I mean, come on.
Shout out.
This guy, shout out, man. He's just that boy. He really is. This guy's always on the move, always bouncing from one place to the next. And that's just what I still see on social media. But I'd rather hear it from the guy himself. Tristan, can you explain what's really going on behind the scenes? Because that's always been a mystery to me. Well, how are you?
Yeah.
You just moved different, bro. How's that possible?
Man, I'm just like constantly on the move, man. Like I rarely get like no days off type thing. So I'm usually I travel a lot for work. So I'm a photographer, videographer. And right now I'm getting my master's and they're paying for it, so I have to work for them. So, I mean, I was in Detroit 2 weeks ago, Orlando last week. I'll be in Kentucky this week, and then I'll go to Ohio and Texas.
Jesus.
So, yeah. So,
Like, how far in advance do you know when you're going to these sorts of places? Like, is it sometimes where it's like, oh, maybe you think you're going to have a light week and then all of a sudden they need you here or there? Or, like, is it like...
yeah, quite literally, that's kind of how it works. Like, I didn't know I was going to Kentucky until like 2 days ago, so I had to cancel. I was supposed to work for APFC, right, in Milwaukee, but I'm leaving Sunday for Kentucky, so I had to cancel. Had to text my boy Anthony Pettis, shout out. I had to say, hey, man, can't make it today. He said, hey, man, it's all good. We'll figure it out. I'll see you next time. I was like, all right, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. Of course, that's unfortunate. As Tristan mentioned, the Anthony Pettis Fighting Championship. That's the last time I actually ran into him. You guys want to see a picture of it? Check it out on the Split Decision podcast. Maybe I'll give you a little teaser right here. I don't know. Who's to say? Who's to say? Who's to say? But yeah, that is just something that I think is the coolest, dude. If there's one thing that always stood out about Tristan, whenever I was on the feed, I was like, dude, this guy is with, who was it? Poirier, Jose Aldo, Chito Vera. I mean, I don't know. There's probably a lot of other guys, cool guys in there as well. But like I said earlier, you just move different, bro. I don't know how you do it. That's some cool shit. That is really cool. And obviously, this guy's a hustler, dude. And if there's something I can always respect about somebody is if they just are willing to grind, and that's what Tristan's doing, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man.
Of course. But speaking of hustlers, bro. Speaking of hard hustle and muscle, what do we got going on this weekend, bro? There's a lot. But as I say that, before the podcast went off,
The potatoes, man.
Dude, we're starting off about half an hour later than we're supposed to, and we encountered a few obstacles. The last one, I told them just before we hit record, 5 minutes, I have to get the potatoes out the air fryer. So I'll be right back, and then we'll get into a very big weekend.
Let's go, man.
All right, I'll just obviously leave it recording then.
Okay.
Like
all right,
2
man.
seconds.
Hey. Did you shower? Did you shower? Water not on? Did your shower still off? Okay. you're good. Are you alright? Are you alright? Yeah.
Alright.
We back.
Are you about ready?
Just one second. I gotta connect my mic back to.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see this. Just one second. Do you hear the white noise? Is that happening again?
Alright, I hear it again.
Just one second. Trying to figure out how. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
Hello? Okay, says you can mute while recording, but you can't switch mics. Oh, fuck. So I think it's because I took my headphones off that it switched to my MacBook my microphone. But it won't let me change back if we are like recording, I guess.
I mean, it's not that big.
Okay. I mean, if it's kind of annoying, then we can stop the recording and then say start it again. I don't know if that's possible, or make it all.
I will say, yeah, I could probably stop it and start. I never tried that before. Let me see. Okay, and we are back. The potatoes are looking good, guys. Don't worry about it. But while I was up there in the midst of the fire, I was like, I can't. Yeah, we can pivot to the fights and stuff going on this. But I had a few questions going back to the APFC stuff. I know I mentioned some of the names that you hung out with, Tristen. What has kind of been your favorite interaction so you've had with the UFC fighter so far?
That's a good question. There's two that come to mind. The first one I'll say was with Cheeto. So it was APFC Milwaukee. It was this past May.
Yeah.
So I did the event, right? He was super cool. I met him, hung out with him. Cool, whatever. Like, yeah, we talked. And before I left, I was like, yo, dude, like, I'm about to finish my back piece because I have my whole back's done with tattoos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, that's sick, bro. Like, when it's done, like, you should show it to me somehow. And I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but okay.
Yeah.
So like fast forward, so like later that night, I left. I'm going. Only place open is like this bar. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking starving. So like, I go to this bar and I walk in the back, and like it's like kind of busy, not really. And then in the back, I just see Cheeto and his friend that he was with, and I was like, oh shit. And then I saw him. They saw me. I dapped them up. I sat there for a little bit, just shot the shit with them, and then I was all right, guys. I'll see ya. Got my food and left.
Damn, that's
So,
pretty fun.
and then so fast forward, when I got my back piece done, I forget how I added Cheeto. I added him on Snapchat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he added me back, and I was like, okay, this motherfucker added me back, so he must remember. So then I sent him a picture of my tattoo, and he was like, amazing. Like he was like, that's good work, man.
Yeah.
I was like, this was like 2 days before he fought Figgy, and I was like, hey man, good luck, bro. And he's like, thanks. And then he lost. So
Yeah. I didn't realize it was that recent. That's kind of crazy when you think about it.
yeah,
Man, that's freaking sick. Especially getting a compliment on your tattoos from somebody like Cheeto. His tattoos
Yeah,
are nice.
for sure.
Nicest in the whole roster.
Yeah. And then the second one, I'll keep it real quick. The second one was the APFC event in Indiana with Tony, because I don't know if obviously you guys don't know, but Tony's my boy, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen that guy when he was at his highest, and now he's at his lowest, you know? And so we're sitting in the room, like the media room. The event's over, and he's just talking about someone asked him, he's like, hey, are you gonna retire? He's like, I'm too old to retire. I'm not gonna retire. And we're like, all right, yeah, cool. And I was like, remember, Tony, it's always Tiramisu Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he was like, right, it is always Tiramisu Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And then he looked at my buddy who was working with me, Ryan,
Yeah.
he has no idea who this guy is.
Really?
Doesn't know who Tony is, yeah. And he looks at Ryan and he goes, "Do you know what Tiramisu Tuesdays means?" And he's like, "Nah, bro, I don't."
Oh,
He goes on this 20-minute rant.
no.
Yes, bro, about
That's
how
great.
he's like about how Khabib was ducking him and how he was threatening his family and all this
Wow.
stuff. And he was talking about how there was this one guy that he'd always see at his training, didn't think much of it, but he was Russian. So he
Hmm.
thinks this guy was like a spy or something.
Really?
Yeah, and then
Damn.
he was like, I don't think that Khabib and I will ever fight in the octagon, but we're gonna compete in some way.
Hmm. I
And
hope so, dude.
I was like, damn, bro, that's
No,
crazy.
that is crazy. I can only imagine watching him. Obviously, I'm sure no one interrupted him. I'm sure you guys just let him go and just like
Yeah,
listen to
yeah.
what he has to say.
We got in the car, right?
Hmm.
And my boy Ryan was like, "Yo, so is he like good? Like, is he good at
Oh my
fighting?"
God, come
And
on, dude.
I was like,
Don't,
bro.
e- don't even say that. That makes me a little upset, bro. That makes me
Yeah,
that hurts makes my stomach turn a little bit.
yeah,
But like Ryan, is he just like another one of the videographers or something like
yeah.
that?
He
Okay.
just so he works for me at Purdue Fort Wayne,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, bro, you want to come work this APFC event with me?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." He knows nothing about it. I was like, bro, if you didn't believe me, that dude's lost 8 fights in a row, and
Hmm.
he's like, "What?" And I was like,
Oh
"Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But I never start out. I never start out with that. I give him the full resume first.
yeah." 13
Yeah.
fight win streak, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. 13 fight win streak. Interim champion. He would have sliced and diced Khabib. The list goes on and on. I'm sure he
On
told.
and on.
I'm sure he told you
Yeah, he did.
everything. Um, but anyways, if we're speaking about resumes, if we're speaking about legends, we're speaking about history, then we're talking about this weekend. Uh, in both main events, minus one particular Jake Paul. Maybe he's not a legend, but he's certainly notorious. Dare I say?
Yeah.
Notorious. Um, but a big weekend of cards. Tristan, you know just as well as I do what's happening this weekend. So why don't you tell the people what to look out for this Friday
Yes,
card?
sir. Friday, November 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Netflix. We have the main card starting Jake Paul, Mike Tyson,
Yes,
the
sir.
main event. But let's not forget about the co-main event.
Oh,
The co-main
oh,
event, Katie Taylor, Amanda
yes.
Serrano.
No, yes, that is a banger of a co-main event. That's the real main event, to be honest.
I mean, that's the fight I'm more worried about, man.
Yeah,
But
that actually has stakes to it. But
mhm.
continue, please continue. You're on
Yeah,
fire.
so yep, Friday we got those two phenomenal boxing fights. I don't know much about the undercard. Sorry, not sorry.
It is
Then
what
we
it
got
is.
Saturday, man.
Mhm.
UFC 309.
Yes, sir.
Co-main event. We got Charles DeBronx Oliveira fighting Michael Chandler in a rematch at 155 pounds.
Yes, sir.
And then the main event, we have the GOAT, John Jones,
Johnny
versus
Bones.
Stipe Miocic. Some say the best heavyweight of all time. I would agree. All I can say is I'm looking real forward to both
Hmm.
cards. I, I'm not as excited as the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, but like I said, I'm still gonna watch it. You
Obviously, yeah.
know,
You
I
have
gotta
to.
watch it. But man, this UFC 309 card is it's gonna be I think one of the best ones of the year. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. And it's at Madison Square Garden, so you know they're always trying to do some big stuff because they only go there once a year.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but before we get to UFC 309, because obviously we're itching to talk about it, but if we talk about that first, we kind of
Mhm.
take some of the fuel out the fire for Paul versus Tyson. Because realistically, if I had to watch one or the other, I'd rather watch 309. There's more to talk about from top to bottom, at least for me.
Mhm.
But certainly, Paul versus Tyson deserves our attention, and that's what we're gonna give it right now. Um, Except we're starting all the way at the co-main event because there's no way I'm talking about anybody on this undercard. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Mario Barrios deserves some attention, but I have no idea who Abel Ramos is. No idea.
If bro, I'd be lying if I told you I looked up the undercard.
Yeah,
I
no.
I didn't.
Yeah, I just found out. I just found out what the third fight was right now as I was saying it.
There we go.
But the co-main event, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. I watched part one. Did you watch part one?
Yes, I did.
That's a banger of a fight. And surprisingly, I thought they were going to rematch a lot sooner. I think we're, at least 2 years away, removed from it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because Katie has a loss in between the
Yes,
last time that they
she did.
fought.
She did.
Yeah.
And then she rematched and got the win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, it's been quite some time. Wow, it's more than 5 fights. Oh no, never mind. I'm lying. It was 4 fights ago for
Yep.
Katie Taylor, and then how many times has Amanda fought since then? 1, 2, 3, 4.
She was supposed to fight here recently, but
5.
yeah.
Amanda's fought a few times, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. For those who don't know, though, because maybe female boxing isn't your go-to sport. These are two of the absolute best female boxers of all time. They clashed, as we were saying, a couple years ago. I think it was the first 12-round women's championship boxing match. I'm pretty sure it was. And it ended up going the full distance, and they were just banging. Pause. But respectfully, they were.
Yep.
Swinging for the fences on each other. And at the end, I mean, the crowd was electric, as it deserved to be, because these two women put on an absolute amazing performance.
Mm-hmm.
And to conclude, Katie Taylor ended up winning a very close split decision, I believe, correct?
Yep. Shout out Split Decision Podcast. Yeah.
Shout out Split Decision Podcast. You know what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think, Tristan? Going into the rematch, what do you think this favors?
I think that they both have gotten better from this fight. I mean, it was 2 years ago, I think 2022 or something like that. And Katie Taylor, like you said, coming off, she got that loss against Chantel Cameron, and then got the revenge, beat her. I think it was like majority decision.
Yeah.
Amanda Serrano's she rebounded probably the best anyone ever could. She's undefeated since that fight. It was a close one. The last time I had it, I think, I forget the rounds. I forget how I scored it, but I thought Katie Taylor did enough to win. And it's tough to say, but I think she's going to get it done again. I think Katie Taylor is just,
She's tough.
she's
Tough as
tough.
it gets. Whoever got their hand raised in that fight, there was no robbery there, I don't think. Like, it's just depending on how you saw the fight when you watched it. It was that close of a fight.
Yeah.
Katie Taylor's just the one who happened to get her hand raised. You could just as easily make a case for Amanda Serrano. But from the looks of it, from what I saw, Serrano definitely had the power advantage. And from what I remember, Katie Taylor, I think, is the shorter fighter. And I don't know, I think they're about the same height, but I feel like it just feels like Katie Taylor fights a little bit more in close like this. I don't know, like with their hands
Yeah.
up here. She was the one pressing forward, from what I can remember most of the time. But Amanda Serrano, whenever she would land, she would hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll
And
see, man.
she's coming off a finish.
She is.
Yeah. She pieced up Stevie Morgan pretty bad. That was the Paul Perry fight card.
Man, it'd be insane if we saw a knockout in this one, especially considering it's been quite some time since Katie Taylor has
Yeah.
KO'd an opponent. So
Yeah.
we shall see. But moving on to the main event. I mean, a sentence I never could have dreamed of saying in my life. A thought I would have never occurred to me. In our main event, we have former YouTube sensation and I guess MMA legend hunter Jake Paul taking on the youngest heavyweight champion in history and the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson. I mean, that's just the fact I saw Mike Tyson fight once is crazy enough.
Mm-hmm.
Two times is crazy. But I mean, what do you make of it all? I know we were kind of talking about it before we got into the podcast. We had to stop ourselves because we were really about to get into it. But do you think this is a fight that should be happening? Just yes or no. I want to hear your answer on that.
No, I don't think that should be happening. But it is happening. I'm not going to lose sleep over that it's happening. I'm going to watch that it's happening. But I don't like the idea of a 58-year-old man getting in the boxing ring with Jake Paul, yes, he's not a good I mean, he's a good boxer, I'll say that,
Mhm.
but he's 27 years old.
Yeah,
Like
that's insane.
that's insane. And it's just it's just not gonna be good, I have a feeling. I have a feeling Mike's gonna, have a few good punches in there, then I think as the later rounds go on, he's gonna get knocked out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I could just as easily see something like that happening. But,
Now, hey,
yep, now. What that now is that now there's also a part of you that's like Mike Tyson. I mean, 58 years old or not, Mike Tyson. Uh,
he's got
like,
that dog in him, bro.
is there
He's
ever? I don't know if there is an age you can put on Mike Tyson that would not make me think he could kill him. like,
Oh
it's,
yeah.
I don't know. So it's that little piece of you that it's just like I guess I kind of want. It's like a car crash. It's like you see
Yes.
it's like you don't want to see it, but if you see it, it's like it's
Yeah.
interesting. It keeps your attention.
Then I just go back to Mike Tyson, yes. 58-year-old Mike Tyson, Tyron Woodley. However old he was like 35. Yes, Tyron was a wrestler or whatever, but bro, I saw that dude kill people in the octagon. And the way that Jake knocked him out the second time, I just I don't know, man.
Yeah, it definitely raises
I've
some concern.
yeah.
I mean, who is he? Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is still relatively athletic. I mean, and
That
he's
was
younger.
yeah,
Anderson Silva's what? I don't know how. Is he in his
40
50s?
something.
Is he still in his 40s?
I
Anderson
think
Silva.
so.
Let's see. I think he might be in his 50s. No, he's 49. 49.
Oh, he's almost there.
Not, yeah, I mean, I don't know. But then you look at but then you look at Tyson, dude. He's freaking huge. He's jacked. He's fuck. But also he looks slow. The thing is, if you
He
watch, he's like kind of slow.
but he has the highest boxing IQ out of anyone that Jake's ever
Yes,
fought.
absolutely, absolutely. Like
hmm
if this was 10 years ago, if it was 48-year-old Mike Tyson, I would feel a little bit better about
Even
it.
if it was 4 years ago when he fought Roy Jones Jr.
If it was right after he fought Roy, I'd be like, yeah, that's Mike Tyson's fight.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that gives me hope. But also, I mean, there's a difference between going from like 20 to 24, I feel like, and going from 54 to 58. I mean, am I wrong in that? I feel like the
No.
body age is a little bit harsher on you at that age. I don't
I
know.
mean, that's why this whole fight was delayed in the first place because he
Yeah.
had some medical issues, which is not pleasing to hear. But I mean, shout out,
Shut up.
0 calories.
Zero calories.
Uh,
Have as many as you want.
um,
Uh-oh.
we're good. We're good. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I've picked against Jake Paul every time he's fought,
hmm
except when he fought. Nope, even I picked against. I thought Mike Perry was gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've gotten to the point where I am done picking against Jake Paul.
Really?
So I think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Do I want him to win? No. But do
Yeah.
I think he's going to win? Yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I've very much followed a similar sort of rhythm with Jake Paul, where I was like, at the beginning, absolutely not, dude. Like, get this out of here. I don't want to see it at all. Like, Ben Askren, I was like, surely Ben Askren. Tyron Woodley, I was like, okay, he just needs somebody athletic, like actually athletic in front of him. And
hmm
then, obviously, how it went. I think Anderson Silva's kind of when I turned the page on him, especially he knocked him down. But also, I
Yeah.
mean, Anderson Silva, it's not necessarily a movement you want in boxing, I wouldn't think, is sort of like, I don't know.
Well, well, Anderson was looking good because he fought. Who'd he fight? He boxed Julio Cesar Chavez, didn't he?
Yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez. He did, and he scored a decision over him, but went back, he did take on Anderson Silva, beat Anderson Silva. And then after that,
Oh,
he took an L versus Tommy Fury. And that was kind of his first test against somebody, I guess, I mean, one his age, around his
Yeah.
age, right? And who had been that was their sole profession was boxing. That was their sole practice.
Something.
And even Tommy Fury at that, like he's not a great boxer by any means. Like
No.
I don't even they kind of set him up for more or less tin can fights, and I don't even think he plans on boxing professionally again, or I don't know.
No, he's had one fight since the Jake Paul fight.
KSI, wasn't it?
No,
Oh, he hasn't fought KSI?
it was October 14th, 2023. I don't want to butcher this man's name. Oh, it was KSI.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was like, I just looking at the topology and like I have no idea whose name this is. And then I click on the picture and it says KSI. I'm like,
What
oh,
is it? I used to know. I used to watch the Sidemen all the time. What is his name? I know his
it
brother's
starts with
dead.
Deji. It starts with an O.
Yeah.
Aloji. Aloji. I didn't. If I'm being honest, bro, I didn't even know I did not know they boxed. Didn't know he boxed KSI.
I knew that because I don't know. It kind of came out of nowhere. But like KSI's a dork, dude. KSI is a dork. I can't. He annoys me.
He's in the thick of it, bro.
And I used, bruv. And I used to watch the side. I used to rate the Sidemen. They were the mandem, yeah. They were the mandem.
Mendem things, eh? Yeah.
The boys, yeah. English slang too good. Anyways, Jake Paul, Tyson. Here we go. This Friday. Right now, if you had to put your money on a certain scenario, what would be the outcome? What is the outcome you foresee for this fight on Friday?
I would say Jake Paul by knockout. That's what I'd say. Or I'd say, or if you don't want to pick a side, I'd pick the under.
Yeah.
I'd pick
Sure.
the under.
For sure. I would say even under, I would feel comfortable 4.5. Dare I say?
Really?
Dare I say? Because I'm like, no, I don't know.
I'd say under 8. Under 8
I-
comfortably.
No, but I think Tyson really might just charge him. I think he might go for broke and might try to run over him. And I could see it. Classic shit. Running at him. And yeah, maybe he swarms Jake a little bit. But maybe Jake just has to breathe for 1 second and he might be there
Boom.
to get hit.
Yeah.
And once he goes down once, I don't want to see him go down again. If Tyson goes down once, please do not let him stand up. Please don't let him stand up. I don't care.
Don't. Yeah.
But also, who are you to tell Mike? I mean,
Hey, I'm not gonna tell Mike Tyson to do nothing, bro.
exactly.
Get your bag, bro. 40. I don't know how much he's gonna get paid, but a lot.
I'm not hoping for that scenario by any means. I'm the last person who's hoping that happens. I want Mike Tyson to do the unthinkable and knock out Jake Paul within the first 3 rounds because I think that's the only way he scores a knockout on Jake Paul. I just can't see him holding up long enough to outbox him. I would, if he had some sort of cardio, maybe I'd see it, but I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't fathom his gas tank holding up.
I don't see him winning a decision.
It's how many rounds is it? I know it's 2-minute rounds. How is it? 8 or 10 rounds? Let me double check that.
I thought it was 10, but you might be right if it's 8. I don't know.
I think it could be 10. It could be 10. Let me see.
It doesn't say. Tyson fight. There we go. 8. The fight scheduled for 8 2-minute rounds.
8 2-minute rounds, guys. That gives me some hope. Gives me a little hope. I'm glad the rounds aren't 3 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I need that. I'm gonna be wincing the whole time I'm watching. I'm gonna be watching it like. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be anxious, but I'm
The only thing that I don't, which I know is gonna happen, if Jake Paul wins, we already know who he's gonna call out.
Bro, it's gonna be so annoying. That pisses me off. That fucking pisses me off. Dude, stop calling out fucking Canelo Alvarez, bro. You're not getting that fight.
Bro, Canelo.
But what makes me sick is that he could, like, if he wins, like, I don't think he'll be next by any means. But 2-3 years from now, 2-3 years from now, I could see Canelo one last payday. Probably.
Yeah.
Jake Paul, as long as he protects that record. Never say never. Never say never.
It'd be on Canelo's terms. He'd be all right. How much am I getting?
Yes,
How
exactly.
much money are you willing to throw at me?
Exactly. Yeah, it's always. Of course, he's in that rare position that some athletes get to, where they're just always the A side, always the A side,
Yep.
no matter what. He got that sort of pull. Uh, but yeah, if I were to go back to the Jake Paul and Tyson fight, I'm gonna go with I don't know if I have the balls to say Tyson to score a knockout. I don't think I can.
Let's see what do you think the odds are?
I believe Tyson is. I would imagine he's. I think there's probably a lot of money coming in on him this week, just because of the way his demeanor. And the thing is, he's being serious.
Bro,
Uh,
check this out. Jake Paul by KO, TKO plus 150.
yeah,
Mike Tyson by
uh,
KO plus 250.
yeah. I mean, if you're taking Tyson, take him by KO, because
Yeah,
that's the only way he's winning. That's the
he's plus
only.
one. He's
Yeah.
money line. He's plus 160. Like you
Mhm.
might as well just get the plus 250. 2K.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
If you're gonna risk it, it's already a risk, to be honest. I think plus 165 is even a generous line to.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised when I looked at it. Was it closer to the 200s at least? You know.
Yeah.
Um, but alas, fuck it. I'm gonna if I'm rolling with Tyson. Do
Let's
I think
go.
my Tyson? Which is different. Me saying I'm rolling with Tyson is me different from saying I think Mike Tyson's gonna win. I want to make that clear. All right, it's not me. It's not me endorsing you to go put your money on him. But I'm rolling with fucking Tyson no matter what. Come on, we're gonna look at that. Look at that.
Let's go.
Iron Mike looms above us always, always. So yeah, fuck yeah. The return of the GOAT, Mike Tyson, against Jake Paul. And if we're talking about GOATs today, unfortunately, that means we have to talk about John Jones too. And
Let's go.
I don't want to talk about like that. I don't want to talk about John Jones in that manner. But he's just
Mm-hmm.
left a salty taste in my mouth all week, or for the last few months, really. He is just, as everyone knows, a duck. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it, Tristan. If there's a way to just sum it up, he's ducking Tom Aspinall, Britain's best MMA prospect of all time so far.
Okay, let me pitch this out to you, because I'll give you some background. The first fight I ever watched was Gustafson Jones 1.
Mhm.
I was at B-Dubs. This is back when my dad and I couldn't afford the pay-per-view, so we go to B-Dubs and watch it. So that was the first fight I ever watched.
Yeah.
So Jones is up here for me, one of my favorite fighters of all time.
Yeah.
I've been through it all, everything, ups and downs, and now it's come to this, and everyone's calling him a duck, and he's
Yeah.
doing all this. He's gone full heel. He's, as the
Mhm.
WWE would say,
Yeah.
full heel. And do I think John Jones is scared of Tom Aspinall? No. I don't think he's scared of Tom Aspinall. But do I think he's being conservative of how many fights he has left in his career? Yes, I
Yeah.
do think
Yeah.
that. And he goes, well, what fight is going to give me the most money?
Mhm.
Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira?
Fair.
And I completely understand that.
Fair.
But if you go Alex Pereira, you have to vacate your belt, bro. It doesn't have to be for a belt, the fight. But you can't hold up the heavyweight division because Tom Aspinall deserves to be undisputed.
Yep.
We don't defend interim titles around here. That's
Exactly.
lame.
Yes.
So
Dude, yeah.
yeah.
I had a conversation with a coworker earlier about it, and I pretty much said very similar things along the lines of what you were talking about, where it's like I'm not mad at him for wanting those big fun fights, for trying to chase a bag at the end of the career. If I'm being honest, there's nothing John Jones has to prove to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm really being honest about the guy. I mean, in terms of as a professional fighter, as a man, maybe there's something left to be compared there.
Yeah.
But and MMA wise, he has the as perfect as career as anybody has ever had. But it's just like as you said, don't hold up the division. relinquish the title. Like, he's not an undisputed champion. He's quite literally one of the most disputed champions of all time right now because he's not fighting the clear number one contender, or completely saying that he'll never fight him. Basically,
Yeah.
the only thing that gives me hope is that Dana White said whoever wins that fight, Tom Aspinall's next, which is all I've been waiting to hear, really. So that gave me a bit of relief, but I don't know.
Did you watch the press conference today?
I didn't. I was at work. It came out a little early, and then I was on.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Oh, okay. So he reiterated that at the press conference. He said, "Whoever wins this fight will fight Tom Aspinall," and the whole crowd.
Yes. Oh no. Yeah, I saw that. Yes.
And then John's just like.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest eruptions I've ever seen, and that is just like one of John Jones's excuses. I would label it is that Tom Aspinall doesn't have like a name. He doesn't bring any value or that sort of thing. But that's
or
as good at,
he's an asshole, which I was like,
he's an asshole. Tom Aspinall of all people, literally like one of the last. I watch his YouTube. That dude is chill as it gets. He's just a chappy little British man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's top tier, bro. He's not an asshole.
He's top tier, bro. So yeah, that's it again, and all these sort of factors just play into the reason why it's just kind of hurting me that this fight possibly might not happen, especially when you consider Jones never ended up taking on Ngannou like a lot of people wanted him, and me as well. A fight that people wanted to see never ended up happening. So it's like Jones hasn't had a really exciting fight. I feel like, I mean, since when? I guess Diamond Correa's, but like how long ago was that? Is that 5 years ago? 4 years?
I was in high school when that happened. So
it's like,
yeah,
just give us something. I mean, but that being said, he can very well give us an all-time moment this weekend because the guy's fighting him. It's no foregone conclusion. I'll say that John Jones fights this weekend. Like you can't say like or that. No, sorry. It's no foregone conclusion that John Jones wins this weekend. Because the man he's taking on, Stipe Miocic, doesn't have a nickname, I believe, right? I think he just sticks with Stipe.
I think it's just Stipe, yeah.
Yeah, he one of the few. That's just a name that sticks. You'll always remember Stipe Miocic, right? And it's an all-time great name for an all-time great fighter. As we touched on a little bit earlier, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, heavyweights of all time. But, you know, he passed it? It's been years. I think it's in the thousands of days since we've seen him.
Yeah.
I think March 2020, it could have been. Early March, January 2020?
I think it was 2021.
2021?
Yeah, March.
Yeah,
March.
Yeah, it would have been
21.
obviously 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And guess what happened that fight? He got his block knocked off.
No. No.
By the man who should not be named. For some reason, they don't bring him up. But
dude, it's funny you say it. Real quick, it's funny you say the man who should not be named. For those of you listening, I'm talking just to Tristen right now. You guys probably, where's PJ? We rolled right into it. PJ, we miss you, buddy. And we're going to get into PJ's picks. I have PJ's picks for the entire card. Don't worry. For all you PJ stands out there, his picks are coming, dude. I have them.
Let's go.
I'll find a way to insert them into the video. At the very least, I'll tell you what he's thinking, because I do have them.
We can go over them after we talk about this main event and co-main if you want. I'm down.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, all right. I'll just have him pulled up, and when we talk about the fights, I'll just say what he picked, and then maybe I'll try to play PJ a little bit. Maybe I'll try to get into his head because we have that sort of chemistry. Maybe I can see his perspective, the White Knight himself. But back to it. I guess do you want to start from the main card? Do we want to talk about Jones-Stipe first, or do we want to work our way up and build up to it? Build up to our decisions.
All right, let's do that. Let's start from the bottom.
Yeah, right, we
We
want to tease you guys a little bit. Tease you guys. That's what you guys
we don't.
got to look forward to.
Yes, sir.
So we'll start from the notable fights. We'll start in the prelims. I'm trying to pull it up right now. It's lagging a little bit, just a little. Of course, the Wi-Fi is wonky right when I actually need my laptop. Yeah. But we'll go. We'll look. I can't remember what all fights are on there, and then we'll just make sure to give our picks for the main card for sure.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have to go over every prelim fight because some of them are kind of stinkers, but
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I mean, there's some names to be mentioned on here for sure. Veronica Hardy.
Yep.
Tom Hardy's hot wife. I don't know how he pulled that. Good for him. Basil Hafez, he had a good close fight with JDM, I'm pretty sure.
I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I know Glove. I know Glove, Tristan. I know you know Glove for sure. He's somebody. What is he known for to the educated fan, Tristan?
Hey, he took JDM he almost beat JDM
Yeah.
because I remember watching that fight. Short notice replacement. I forget who he replaced, but JDM kept going for the guillotine,
Yeah.
and he'd just get reversed every time. But then, so split decision loss, I think, or maybe I think it wasn't split decision, but he lost against JDM, close fight. Yep, shout out. But then he rebounded, right? And he beat the brakes off of Mickey Gall in his last fight, who is also on this card.
Yes, exactly. Who also is for the educated fan. You know, Mickey Gall famously was the first one to take on the all-time great CM Punk. And given his first loss, his first of 2 losses in his career. He never lost a fight after that, though. That's all you need to know about CM Punk's career.
Shout out.
Mickey Gall. Shout out CM Punk for real, dude. I'm gonna put a picture of the gloves above. The guy, cult of personality, bro. Another funny name on here, Marcin Tybura. Is it Marcin Tybura? Is it Sergey Spivak? Is it some other fat Russian? Oh no, Romanov. Romanov got cut. Now it's just Marcin Tybura and Spivak. And one of the 3 is always fighting on any given weekend. Unfortunately, it's Tybura this week, and he's taking on the undefeated Renato Diniz. I think I watched this guy fight. I think he had a crazy fight. If I'm not to be mistaken, I have to see who it is. Can you remember? Do you know who it was?
He's undefeated fighter. His last fight was against Carl Williams. That one wasn't good, but you might be thinking of he knocked out Austin Lane real bad.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at right now. That's
Yep.
what I'm looking at. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's no slouch. I hope he can get Tybura out of there. I hope he can get Tybura out of the UFC. If I'm being quite honest. We need to end obesity in the heavyweight division. If I'm being quite honest. Hey. Maybe I don't mean to sound harsh or anything, but these guys, like, come on, you watch heavyweight MMA and you're just like, what is this? I don't want to show this to my friends. I'm gonna be like, there's 2 fat guys fighting in the fucking cage.
If it gets past the first round, it's real slow.
Yes,
it's real slow.
There's no difference in their cardio between them and like any guy who goes to the YMCA. They would last the same amount of time. Which is just frustrating, but whatever.
So I guess we can say we're both picking him to win.
Yeah, let's go with Renato.
Yes. All right, let's go.
And then, do you think Basil Hafez is easy money? He's taking out Oban Elliott.
Hey, this is one of the topics I had written down for this podcast.
Yeah.
I am going to be placing a wager on what's good old Hafez.
Yeah.
Plus 240 money line.
Ooh. Don't tell me that. Because that sounds like easy money, brother. That sounds like easy money.
Moicano, easy money.
Oh,
I have not been impressed with Mr. Oban Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
He talks a big game.
He
talks a big game. His first few fights in UFC, I'm just like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't know it was plus 240. That you gotta take a serious look at that. I
He's
rate
coming
that.
off.
I rate that. I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna. I'm gonna ride that wave with you, bro. I'm gonna take Basil Hafez to get the upset in that one. Plus 240 is crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
So take a look at that for all you bettors out there. Moving up though, Jim Miller taking on handsome David Jackson. David Jackson really turned the narrative around on his career.
Hey, he's something. Yeah, he's something.
I feel like I didn't know him at all until like people started calling him handsome. What did he get, like hair transplant or something like that?
Yeah.
When they grew out the beard yeah.
Bro went to Turkey real quick.
Yes, exactly. But he's fighting this weekend against Jim Miller. All-time most wins in UFC, correct? I believe so.
I think so.
I believe so. Did he? I know.
I don't know. Fact check that. Yeah. I don't know.
I think is that not what him and Cowboy fought for? Did they not fight for the most wins?
I don't. Either most wins or most fights in the UFC. One of the two. I don't know.
I feel like it's one of the. I feel like it has to be both,
It's
right?
He's been in the UFC for a long fucking time. That's basically what it is.
Shout out Jim Miller, Hall of Famer. What do you think? UFC Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
Fuck it. I mean, if you're, I don't know, bro. Like, no.
No, I would agree. I think you have to protect your Hall of Fame if you want to give it value. Because it's like if you put Jim Miller in, then you're gonna put Cowboy Cerrone in. Is Cowboy Cerrone? Come on, that guy was a notorious choker when it in the big lights.
When it mattered most.
Yes, exactly. So yeah.
If you get pieced up by Bobby Green, bro, I'm sorry, but
I don't think longevity necessarily should. I mean, it's not just longevity. They got their fair share of, good wins.
yeah.
But they not an all-time great. They won't. Their names won't go down. Realistically, they won't transcend time. You know what I mean?
However, this Saturday, I think Jim Miller will take the W. That's my pick.
I'm finished with my Coke Zero, guys.
Shout
I
out.
wish I had another one. God, sorry. What's up? What's up, Tristan? What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying. I think I'm gonna take Jim Miller against the pretty man, whatever his nickname is. Handsome.
Handsome David Jackson. All right,
Yep.
I'm with you on that. I think Jim Miller, he's a savvy vet. Speaking of savvy vets, Chris Weidman. I feel like, who did he fight before this? He got a controversial, it was score to win, and it ended up being overturned to a no contest. But remind me of who it was against. I forget.
It was Bruno Silva.
Correct. Who took on Alex Pereira, took him to a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You like that?
That's a good pull right there.
Yeah, that was a good pull. Eric Anders, he's had his fair share of fights as well. He's been in some wars, I'm pretty sure. What did he score a W against?
He's coming off a win against Jamie Pickett, his last fight in the UFC, I guess.
Jamie Pickett, I think, has been caught out after that fight, or either his next loss after that. But Chris Weidman, he's much like Tyson, is somebody who I'm like, why are you fighting? Why are you doing
It's painful to watch Chris Weidman fight.
Yeah,
I'm not lying.
It doesn't make me happy to see it happen. How old's Eric Anders? 37? I go with the younger man on that one. Anders is pretty. He's pretty all around, I think. To be honest,
He's never gonna be a champion. He's too late.
No.
But I think I'm gonna pick Eric Anders to win this fight. If he doesn't kick the leg, I'm gonna be pissed because that's how you're gonna beat Chris Weidman.
That's literally. Yeah, no, literally. Man, when who was it? Who is the Islander who was kicking his leg?
Brad Tavares.
Tavares was kicking the shit out of his legs, and I was like, ugh.
That's the fight where I was like, ooh. Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's realistically what you should do. I respected it. Seems like somebody fighting out of Was it Extreme Randy Couture MMA or that
Yeah,
team?
yeah,
Extreme Couture.
yeah. Extreme Couture.
Yeah, I'm sure they advised him to do that. Jonathan Martinez, another guy. This guy was the hype train for a little bit. His leg kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of leg kicks, Jonathan Martinez, some of the best in the game. And he's
Yep.
taking on Marcus McGee, who a lot of other people seem to be fans of. You know, he has a
Mm-hmm.
little fandom going of his own. He has a weird look to him. Weird look.
He's.
Little prehistoric a bit.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, that's a fight at 135, the deepest division in MMA. The
Mm-hmm.
deepest, because are either of these guys ranked at the moment? I'm not too sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
And like skill for skill, they're probably as good as I don't know a top 10 heavyweight, the 10th ranked heavyweight,
Yep.
at least.
Who you taking in this one?
Let me think.
McGee, the older man, but
He is, but he's still a good. I mean, it is even money, huh? Pretty much. We're talking about even money in this fight. I see plus 100 for Jonathan Martinez, minus 120. Yeah, it's about even money. Pardon me. Wants to go Jonathan Martinez. I mean, he beat Adrian Yanez. He beat Said
That's-
Nurmagomedov. Cub Swanson. He has good wins. He has some.
and he has a good loss. He
does have
lost
a good loss.
lost to Jose Aldo. There's no shame in that.
No
I
shame.
think he's gonna come off of that fight, learned a lot.
You know?
That's who I'm going with. That's who I think.
Yeah, he went in there against Jose Aldo in a very fan friendly way. You know, he was there. They were there pretty much striking the whole time. Right?
Yeah.
He was chasing takedowns like you know who. That,
Yeah, we don't.
that
Yeah.
mad rat. Who shall not be
Yeah.
named.
We're not gonna even name
Who
that
shall not
guy.
be recognized or endorsed on the split.
You'll talk about him on this podcast when he fights Henry Cejudo. That's the next time
Yes.
he'll be talked about.
Exactly. Thank you, Henry, for finally making yourself useful.
For real.
And now I believe. Oh no! Well, the Fighting Nerds are fucking back, dude. The Fighting Nerds to headline the prelims. Because I was about to skip over it, but we got Mauricio Ruffy of the Fighting Nerds, the infamous vigilante gang of Brazil, taking on James Lion Top. I don't know who that is. Lion Top is either could or couldn't be. It's either the best or worst name of all time, depending on
Yeah.
where you kind of up in life. Like if he
Guess
becomes champ, James Lion Top.
guess what his nickname is.
Nah, what is that?
You go ahead and look that up. No.
Is that the Peru flag or Canada?
James Lion Top. I don't even know what flag that was.
Oh,
That's Peru. It's Peru.
I take back everything I said. I take back everything I just said about this guy. This guy's going straight to the top. I got him scoring the huge upset against Mauricio Ruffy. That's right. I am going with James Goku Lion Top, bro. Oh my goodness. That's the toughest nickname ever.
That's hard. I can't wait to hear Bruce Pepper say that. Oh, man.
Oh my god, put that in an edit right now. If he gets the win, don't let the anime fans get a hold of this.
Oh.
Don't let the anime fans catch wind of this guy if he gets the
Nope.
win.
They're going to latch onto him like they did
Yes.
Izzy, bro.
Oh, exactly. Could you imagine the edits that they'll make? James, and then I go, Coco! Bro, I need to see it happen. Thank you for telling me to look into that. I'm sure. I think I've definitely encountered it before. It just doesn't come as a complete surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to be reminded that we have one of the best nicknames in the game, going head to head with one of the hottest prospects in the game, the minus 750 favorite, the 10-1-0, one UFC fight. KO against Jamie Malarkey, one UFC contenders fight against Raymond Magomedaliev. He's the hottest prospect at lightweight at the moment, but there have been many like him before, and there will be many like him after, possibly, if he is to get upset this weekend. Do you see it happening? I don't really think so, and
No.
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 Much to my chagrin.
However, this is a similar situation to the Jake Paul fight.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want the other guy to win? Do I want Son Goku to win? Yes, I do want Son Goku to win. But I have a feeling he's going to get one-shotted.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely. I could very much see that. I don't know. Yeah, he seems like he's going to... I'm sure he'll be tough. I'm sure at one point, the broadcast team will compliment him on his toughness. If there's a line on that, go find it, and then go to the bank and take out all your money and put on it.
Yes.
But I'm confident this guy's going to stick in there. But he's going to be there to be hit for sure at some point. And unfortunately, at some point, I think he's probably going to go out. But I'm excited. There's a reason it's headlining the prelims. It's a very good spot to be in always.
Yep.
So I look forward to seeing it. But now, let's get to it. Let's get into the bread and the butter, the meat,
Let's go.
and the potatoes. You know? The main card of UFC 309, headlined by John Jones and Stipe Miocic at Madison Square Garden. You've heard it all. We're going to start from the bottom, give you our picks. We got PJ's picks ready to go. And we're going to start off with Karine Silva taking on Vivian Araujo. I haven't seen Vivian fight in quite some time. I don't think I've ever seen Karine Silva fight before, if I'm being honest. Tristan, are you familiar with these two ladies in this match?
I'm familiar with Vivian Araujo. I'm not familiar with Karina Silva. Just being honest.
I'm glad you're joining me in this. I didn't want to be scorned in the comments. I go through all of them, guys. I see all your comments.
But what I see here about Karine Silva, she's a finisher. And I like that. She is
a finisher. It's always nice to see that, especially at women's flyweights. You don't see a lot of finishers at women's flyweight. You know what I mean? She's a minus 295, which is kind of crazy because I feel like just a couple fights ago, Vivian Araujo was at least in the top 10. At least in the top 10. I want to say top 6, maybe top 6, top 7. Took her last time out against Natalia Silva. She comes back now against Karine Silva. Is it going to be the curse, the double Silva curse, the classic double Silva curse? I think so. Having never watched Karine Silva fight, take that with a grain of salt. And Tristan literally just telling me that she's picked up a couple wins in a row. And the minus 295 money line.
Hey.
But I'm not touching that fight. I never bet on those sorts of fights. I don't touch them.
Hey, when I bet all I'm saying is I always bet the over. If it's a women's fight, I bet the over.
It's always worth it. It really is always worth it. I'm not lying, guys. I've been Jasmine. How do you say her name? Jasmine.
Jazz Divisius, yeah.
Yes, she's been consistent for me. She's gotten 4 wins in a row. What, did you hear that? Do you hear that in the background?
I do. It's not bad.
Okay, as long as it's not bad. Anyways, but yeah, she's picked up a couple wins in a row, so I appreciate her for that. But I'm not going to discuss something I don't know too much about for too long. I'm sure you don't want to either. I'll go with Karine Silva to get another finish this weekend. Why not? Decision. Never mind. This fight's going to decision.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like where you're going.
This fight's going to decision. I don't know
Yep.
who are you rolling with?
I am agreeing with you. I'm going to go Karine Silva by decision. I think it's going to be very one-sided. I think it's going to be her just grappling the whole time. I don't think she's going to submit her, but I do think it'll be a 15-minute hug fest.
Yep, and it's funny you say that. PJ's pick for this fight was also Silva by unanimous decision. All 3 of us. Karine Silva, unanimous decision. There we go.
Yep, there we go.
We might think alike. I kind of like that I didn't see his pick until I looked at it, so I'm going to turn the cell phone off again. And now we got, moving up to the 4th fight from the top, Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. An interesting stylistic matchup, but... I'm pretty sure Bo Nickel, I'm not looking at the line right now. I would feel confident saying it's at least minus 700, minus
Yeah,
800. Let me look at
bro.
it.
Bro, I thought I think it was something crazy like earlier in the week.
Uh-huh. It's minus 1,000.
That's
That's it. Which is crazy. Paul Craig, he has some good wins. He has like 3 good wins, really. But the 2 guys at the top are championship contenders. One of them former
yeah,
champion.
yeah. Broke Jamal Hill's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Let's not kid ourselves, though.
Yeah, let's not kid ourselves here, guys. I mean, Bo Nickel, he's one of the hottest prospects in the UFC. Actually, I don't know if I'd even call him out. He's someone who the UFC is trying to push with the people. They see him as a potential star. But I did put out a tweet today. Bo Nickel was talking with somebody, met somebody, and I said, the UFC seriously wants me to believe that, and then quotations, Bo Nickel is a future superstar. LOL. I'm like, bro, I can't take this guy seriously. I don't know. I think he talks a big game, which I appreciate, but I just think he's kind of a. I can't call him a dork. What do you think? What are your opinions on Bo Nickel? I'm curious.
I think he's very, very confident in his wrestling capabilities. I mean, as one should be. He's a 3-time national champion. I think he hasn't fought anybody who's a good wrestler as well as a good striker.
Yeah.
And I think that this fight is going to be the same way. He's going to grapple him and he's going to just beat him up. I think he's going to beat Paul Craig. And I think he'll get ranked after this, but when he faces a top 5 contender who can wrestle and strike, I think he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he does not look comfortable on the feet.
No. Even when he scored that knockout versus the brother on short notice, like it was still kind of awkward striking. And then who was it? Who was his last fight? It was how can I not remember his name?
It was some like Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage, yeah. Cody
Yeah,
Brundage.
yeah.
Like that fight, what did it end in the second or the third round? I know he
That's
did end up
the
getting
second.
yeah, but Brundage did like somewhat decent for himself.
He looked good on the. Yeah.
Brundage is no good, but I mean Bo Nickel. I mean he's 6-0. He's going into the 7th fight of his career, so I can't disrespect him too much because he is young and he's fighting better competition at a younger age than most people do. I mean, he's 28. Actually, he's not. I thought he'd be a bit younger. But taking on Paul Craig, who has 1 win in his last 5 fights, coming off a KO loss to Calbaralo, a submission of Brendan Allen. He did have that good KO versus Andre Muniz. That's kind of what gave him a little bit of hype because that was in his move down to 185. But other than that, it's been unsuccess after unsuccess at middleweight for Paul Craig, and I think it's going to be 3 on the bounce. Bo Nickel, there's a reason that line's that way. And the UFC wants you to think Paul Craig has a chance to submit him, but
He doesn't.
He's too savvy on the ground to get caught, I think. Especially after the first round. I think Paul Craig can lost a round just like throwing some crazy shit at him on the ground, but I don't know. I don't see it going much.
I would agree. It's inevitable. It's going to be on the ground. It's just going to be a complete smothering for. I think he's going to finish him. I think elbows, 12-6. I think it's just going to.
Big ass noise. Okay, I'm gonna go agree with you that I'm gonna go with Bo Nickel's second round. I could see him getting a knockdown. Yeah, I could see him TKOing him.
TKO. Yep.
Yeah, I could see him TKOing. What are you gonna roll with?
I'm gonna say round 1. I'm gonna say round 1 TKO.
You're going round 1 TKO. I swear to God, I'm not looking at what PJ gave me as his picks before. He also went Bo Nickel second round TKO. So we're
I can also see him just knocking out Paul Craig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Paul Craig overextends, boom.
Paul Craig's chinny for sure, especially at 185.
Yeah.
He was already chinny at light heavyweight. So, unfortunately, Paul Craig, I'm always rooting for you. I think you're sick. If you got to win, that'd be sick as fuck, right? That'd be one of the craziest wins of all time. But unfortunately, we just don't see it happening. But But now, Tristan, something I've been just holding my excitement in for. I can't believe it's here. It was here before I even realized it. Let me see. What am I looking at? What were you putting? I can't see it.
Hold
What
on,
is
bro.
it?
I got you.
On the
Just know.
What are the fan? What is it? What is it? Woo! Show me the money. Show me.
We know. We know who I'm rooting for.
Show me the
Come on,
money.
man.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Come on, man.
Fuck yeah, bro. Let's go, dude. It's
Let's-
Charles Oliveira Fight Week, everybody. Charles Oliveira Fight Week. And he's taking on, in a rematch, from their championship fight, 3 years ago, Iron Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, who hasn't fought in over 2 years because he was promised a fight against the notorious Conor McGregor and the infamous Conor McGregor, who, and he never ended up getting it, did he, Tristan?
No, he did not. No, he did not. No problem, mate. Yeah. Yeah. No, he did not get that McGregor fight.
No, he didn't. But alas, he's back, and it's good to see him back. And in all honesty, I think Chandler's a little bit of a dork sometimes, but he puts on fun fights every single time. Not just fun fights. He puts on some of the best fights I've ever seen. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and then he also big wins in Bellator as well. Benson Henderson, those crazy fights with Eddie Alvarez, the Pitbull brothers. Did he fight both of them or just one of them? I can't remember.
I think he just fought one of them. He knocked him out.
Okay, yeah, he's a highlight reel. There's Justin Gaethje and there's Michael Chandler. Highlight reels, box office, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But just as much is Charles Oliveira. Who do you? I need to know this now. Who is the bigger, I guess, box office fighter? Charles Oliveira or Michael Chandler, in your opinion? Who are you seeing? You can buy a ticket to go watch either one of them fight. Who would you rather pay for?
Charles Oliveira. All day.
Yeah.
And I know I just have the shirt, but this is coming from an unbiased. Mm-hmm. You don't see people trying to dress like Michael Chandler. You see people trying to dress like Charles Oliveira.
Oh, I know you saw that red suit that he brought back.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Red suit. When I saw
The
that,
red suit?
it's GG's. Bro, it's GG's.
He has aura.
Aura.
Charles Oliveira has aura.
Quite literally aura you can't buy. Like now,
For sure.
sometimes he wears like Brazilian street clothes, and it's the tightest shirt I've ever seen with a bunch of jewels on it, and I'm like, come on, bro. But when he comes suited up, when he's in his full violence gear, shout out Full Violence. One day a sponsor of our podcast.
Shout
out. There's nothing that can top it. Aura for aura, he can go with the best of them, including Conor McGregor, who has his aura is dimming as the days go on. But
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, I mean, co-main event. These guys, as we were saying, have already faced each other in the past, a couple years ago now. And any MMA fan has seen that highlight, knows what happens. Charles Oliveira in danger at the end of the first round. Michael Chandler scores the knockdown, but of course he comes back 49 seconds, something less than a minute, to knock out Michael Chandler at the beginning of the second round. Do I see the fight going differently? Probably. I don't think the wrestling will. I don't know. I can't even act like I know what's gonna happen. I can't even act like it. All I know is someone's getting finished. Would you agree? Someone's light's getting put out some way.
I think someone's going to sleep. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, I think it makes me nervous because it could just, like, as much as I want it to be Charles finishing Michael Chandler, it could just as easily be the other way around. And that makes me nervous, Tristan. Can you see me? I'm shaking over here, Bev.
Yeah.
I'm shaking over here. What are you thinking? How do you see this fight playing out?
I think Charles looked very good in his last fight against Arman Tsarukyan, who's going to be fighting for the title.
Yeah.
It was close fight. The right man won, I would say. I think Charles is hungry. He's talking about, hey, I just had a new kid.
Yeah.
It's my purpose. I need to win that belt back. I think that he's going to sleep Michael Chandler in the first round
Oh,
by submission. By submission.
sleep. I could see it.
See, I could. This is the thing. I'm gonna go on a little rant about Michael Chandler.
Oh, Jesus. I'm ready for
Michael
this.
Michael Chandler went on Ariel Helwani's podcast this week. Shout out.
Mm,
And said one of the reasons why he lost that fight, the first fight, was because he was too young in his career. Not age-wise,
yeah,
but his
yeah.
MMA career. I said, brother, you've been fighting for a minute.
For real.
What do you mean you're too young in
Yeah.
your MMA career?
Yeah,
And
no,
then now yeah.
he was at least, what, 33 at the time, I would think?
Yeah.
33, 30, like somewhere between 32 and 34 at the very least. Like well experienced, like in his late prime, I guess I would say. Some might even say your prime of your career is when you're 32. You know?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
he's 38 now, and now
coming off a big layoff.
Charles Oliveira is now 35. Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
hate to see it, to be honest, but he still got plenty left in the tank. Even with the loss he took his last time out versus Arman Sarukian, you can make an argument for Oliveira loss. Do I see why the judges gave it, or for an Oliveira win, rather, in that last fight? I can see why the judges gave it to Arman, certainly. But it was just, Oliveira was the one, as always, creating all the action in that fight.
Yep. He almost,
Sarukian,
yeah.
yeah, gave him a scare a couple times. If he would have scored that submission at the very end, oh my goodness, the MMA world would have been set ablaze.
Yeah.
But I think we're in for it this weekend for sure. I absolutely all-time fire fight this weekend. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. I think these guys are both itching to get in there and prove something. They're both coming with a real purpose. Dare I say? Do you think, in terms of their careers, I don't know. I won't say this is the most important. Do you think this is the most important fight of their career? What do you think?
I do. I would say this is a very, very important fight for both of them. For many reasons. One, this is if Charles loses this, he's never gonna fight for a title again. Ever. If Chandler loses this, I have no idea where he goes from here. No idea where he goes from here. I don't even think he'll fight for a title if he wins. I just don't see that. But if he loses after this layoff,
Oh yeah, no. Put the nails in the
like,
coffin. People are gonna troll him for. And honestly, regardless of, he could go to war with him. He could if the fight played out just the same way the last one played out, right? Where it was clear that Michael Chandler, he could have got the victory at any point. Even if he puts on that sort of performance again, he's still gonna catch a lot of shit from people because
yeah. I think that's why he's always
wow.
in these like high profile fights. It's because he does these crazy things in these fights, and then he goes and loses.
Yes, exactly.
And then they're like, "Well, hey,
Yeah. He's a good
yeah,
loss for people. That's a terrible way to be remembered. That's a terrible,
yeah,
or no, he's a good, like not a good loss for people. I mean, he's a
good
good
win,
loser. He's a good loser. Ugh, that
yeah,
sounds terrible to say.
yeah."
But yeah. He's a good win to have because he was
Because
exciting.
like no one knows, like his last fight with Dustin Poirier, he lost that fight,
Yeah, exactly.
but it was a good fight until it wasn't. I mean, he got finished, but
One
he
of the
had
best
a
fights
good
I've
guy.
ever seen, dude. Oh my god, I watched that fight on my phone like this. Insane. But yeah, I mean, we've said a lot, but I think we've also said a little because there's so many different ways this fight can play out, just because of how dynamic both these guys are. As I said earlier, I think I'm gonna lean Oliveira. I'm gonna say this fight's finishing. This fight's not going to decision. I don't think either of these guys want the fight to go to decision. And I'm gonna go Oliveira, I guess, by. I think it ends in the first round too. I think Oliveira. Do I think Michael Chandler fights smart enough? No.
Yeah, I agree.
No. That's my. That's crazy. That's my. You saw my actual thought process there. No, I don't think he fights smart enough to. to avoid the dangers Oliveira presents. So I'm going to go Oliveira. First round, I'm going to go sub. I think a knockdown sub, just like he did Gaethje a little bit.
Yep. All right.
That,
What's PJ think?
what's old boy PJ? Oh, I know what PJ's going to eat because we were talking about this off camera. Unfortunately, for our loyal listeners out there who know that we are always on the Charles train, PJ has picked Chandler to score a first round TKO against Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Our guy, Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Guys, can you believe this? I can't. But I understand where he's coming from. I understand. It's not a bad take by any means. It's just he does a little bit better at going with his head rather than his heart than I do. He did put in, this has to be known, let this be known, he did put in parentheses, manifesting I jinx Chandler. So it's kind of how I was talking about Tyson earlier in the fact that I am riding with Mike Tyson. He is riding with Oliveira, but he's not telling you to put his money on him by any means. And I can't blame him. And, but you know who can take a lot of blame? You know who's done a lot of wrong? John Bones Jones. We are back where we...
What a transition, mate.
We teased you guys a little bit. We teased you guys a little bit earlier. But now, we're ready to give you our picks. We're ready to get into the nitty-gritty. This has the potential to be a really good fight. I think it really does. I could see this being a unanimous decision for John Bones Jones. That is what I'm going with. For anyone who's wondering. Why? Why? Because I don't know. Why? Because Stipe Miocic, good wrestler, good boxing, big guy, and John Bones notorious for his pillow hands. I think there's going to be a lot of clinches up against the fence. I think that'll slow down the fight. And that heavyweight tends to naturally have a little bit of a slower pace. And both these guys are a little bit older. So I think when one of them takes a break, the other guy's going to be a little bit going to be willing to take a break as well, especially as the fight goes later on. But that's kind of my actual analysis of the fight. What do you think, Tristen? Hearing what I've heard, can you see it playing out a similar way, or what are you thinking?
I think this is what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go second round submission, John Jones. Just for these few reasons. He's been training with absolute killers.
Oh, yes.
Gable Stevenson, national champion All-American wrestler, right? All right, yeah, Stipe is a good wrestler too, yeah. Gordon Ryan, black belt jiu-jitsu world champion.
Number one.
Shit human being, yeah, right?
Terrible human.
But hey, he knows what he's doing.
He's the king. He's the king. Gordon.
And I think John Jones trained for this fight, knowing, all right, this is the game plan that I'm going to do. I'm going to train this certain tactic, these certain like maneuvers, submissions, blah blah blah, that he's not going to be ready for.
This is my
But
this is my easiest path to victory, essentially.
yeah, but my thing is though, if he puts all these feelers out and Stipe somehow defends it all, he's going to be fucked. Because Stipe is a good boxer, dude.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think John is just on another level. I think Stipe's out of his prime. He hasn't fought in a few years. I just think that he's going to be too much for him. I think John Jones by submission, second round. I think first round's going to be very boring. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the... Sorry, you go.
No, I can definitely agree with you on that. I could see like the first 2 minutes, we see less than like 10 strikes thrown between the two of them.
It's going to be the exact opposite of the Strogan fight. I think John had to rush that guy because you don't want to get Strogan going. Once he's on his bike, he's hard to get off of it. But
that is true. Once he finds his flow, and John Jones has dealt with guys like that in the past. Dominic Reyes, Thiago Santos. Yeah. There's guys that they're long, they're rangy, they mix up the kicks and the punches, and once they start kind of hitting you with one or the other, you're in trouble. But the thing that God didn't have is the wrestling, of course. And I know you touched on, and you brought up something that I completely overlooked. The Gordon Ryan, him training with Gordon Ryan and Gable Stevenson, all-time greats in their respective areas of expertise, guys, in the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. And John Jones is the type of guy to study his opponents, to know where the holes are and figure out how to exploit them. So you raise a good point with the second round sub. I really do like that pick. I never really saw it from that perspective. In terms of what PJ is thinking, he is going Jones UD. This is weird. This is weird that I didn't realize. I guess doing the split decision podcast for long enough, me and PJ have kind of more or less shaped, I guess, the way we see the sport. Maybe we should do a social experiment on that. I don't know. But yeah, the bigger story here, though, Tristen, if we're being honest, is the man who's looming in the shadows, Tom Aspinall, and he's of course gonna be there, front row, and he's of course gonna have something to say, regardless of whoever wins this fight. Do you think it's a case where, regardless of who wins, they're both retiring? Or do you see a potential matchup between the winner and Tom Aspinall, the interim champion?
I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately.
Really?
Do I want it to happen? Yes.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is, okay, John wins, right?
Yeah.
He's going to no-sell Tom Aspinall. He's not going to mention Tom Aspinall unless Joe Rogan mentions Tom Aspinall.
Oh, of course, Joe Rogan's going to mention Tom Aspinall.
Yeah. And he's going to say, all I can think right now is my wife, my kids, blah, blah, blah. We'll have to go back to the lab and think what's next. But Alex Pereira, if you're out there, let's go. I think that's what he's going to say.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Stipe could say the same exact thing. I don't really care about anybody else right now. Just want to go back and see my family, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
but I think if Stipe fucking won, I think he'd retire. I think he would retire.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I think he's done regardless.
Thing is, I could see part of me, this behavior from John, this ducking mindset. I want to hope that it's all for trolling. He's just trolling all of us. He's building excitement, some noise around the fight, and that he's gonna hop on the microphone after he gets the victory and says, "I'm tired of you guys complaining about me being a duck, yada yada. Where's that bitch Tom Aspinall?" And we get the face off, and we got something for international or for UFC London. No, he wouldn't do any at UFC London. There's no way. But like international fight week, I would wait that long for that matchup. I really would.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. That's what the freaking MMA fan in me is just hoping, it's praying it's going to happen. But you might just retire. You might just hang it up.
I think that's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you and say that's what's going to happen if we haven't already seen this happen with him.
Yeah.
He did the same ducking with Francis Ngannou. Because remember, I mean, it's just crazy how things change. It's like Dana was like, "Oh, if I was John Jones, I'd go down to 185." If Francis, like, he doesn't want to fight Francis, blah 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 blah, and then it just how quickly it changed to, "Oh, Francis didn't want to fight John Jones."
Yes, I know. Of course, Dana's always playing the media like a fiddle, painting his own narratives. That's what a promoter does. Props to him. But it definitely wouldn't be the first time we've seen that sort of behavior out of John Jones. He will be remembered in history by people. For better or worse, I don't know. It's up to you. Depends how much you dig it, how much you value certain things. And man, I hope Stipe scores the upset, but unfortunately, it's not looking like it. Not looking like it. But just to recap our picks from the entire card, we'll go over them real quick. It makes it really easy when I edit these as shorts later. It really does, guys, just to give you a look behind the curtain. That's why we do this. But in the first fight, we're going to go with Silva by UD. Then we're going to take Bo Nickel by second round, TKO, KO. Charles Oliveira, first round sub. John Jones, unanimous decision. Tristan, what are you rolling with?
Yeah, let's go. I got Korean Silva by decision.
Hmm.
I got Bo Nickel first round TKO. I got Charles Oliveira first round submission.
Yeah,
Then I got John Jones second round submission.
excellent, excellent. We like that a lot. I like those picks. And then as for PJ, should I include? He sent me a video. Will I be brave enough? No, I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be brave enough to edit it into, to edit 3 minutes and 50 seconds into this podcast. Especially, it would just mess up the flow, guys. But I'll tell you guys who he went with. He went with Mauricio Ruffy, second round TKO. He's on the prelim, sorry, but we're also on Ruffy. Silva unanimous decision. Bo Nickel second round TKO, and Chandler first round TKO. He's manifesting that Oliveira win though, and then in the main event, he's taking John Bones Jones to win by unanimous decision. I would agree. I think we're pretty much unanimous across the board on a lot of these fights. I think we just coin flipped. Yeah, we really just coin flipped Oliveira and Chandler with PJ. I think it's worth, like, sometimes I look at like who ends up winning. A lot of the times, the big favorite. It just sounds so stupid to say, but like the parlays that work best in MMA I found are just when you take all the people who are heavily favored. Like, it's just easy money.
Yeah. This is looking at this card, it's very easy to pick, I feel like.
Yeah.
It,
No, like there's clear winners. I mean, Silva, Araujo. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, Bo Nickel. Charles
I mean,
Oliveira.
that's tough. I guess from like top like to main card all the way down to like the
Yes.
early
Yeah.
prelims.
But yeah, we're in for a banger of a weekend. My sister asked me, she was like, "Are you trying to go to the bar with me and a couple other like of our friends?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "When? Tomorrow?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, Tyson Paul. Come on. We'll see. I'm watching Tyson Paul no matter what. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
UFC 39, I'm watching no matter what. Don't ask me what I'm doing on Saturday. I'm busy. Tristan, what about you? What do you got going on this weekend?
Hey man, I gotta work on Saturday. Well, first I'll start with Friday. I got class
Yeah.
6 to 8:45 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having that fight card up on my browser.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost certain that the main card, like the main event or co-main event, won't start till like 9:30, 10 probably. No,
Yeah.
knowing boxing. So I should be home by that. I'm watching it, couch, maxing, relaxing. Then Saturday, I got work in the morning, and then you know where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be locked in from the early prelims to the main event.
Yes, sir.
So
Like,
I'm excited, man.
I'm excited as well, dude. I'm excited that we got to have you on.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited that we're giving the fans what they want. You guys be sure to be on the lookout for Tristan. He is going all the way to the top, and that's what this podcast is all about. Yes, sir. We
Yes,
thank
sir.
him for his appearance on episode 52 of the Split Decision podcast. Be sure to check out the fights that we got going on this weekend. Be sure to check out the Instagram at the Split Decision Pod and the Twitter at PodSplitDC. Tristan, where can we find you? T-Raw.
Yeah, you can look me up on Instagram. It's Tristen Raw. That's where I post all my video, photo stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate a follow, like,
Future
let's go.
Future media mogul. Remember
Yes,
the
sir.
name. Remember the name. But yeah, thank you so much, Tristan, for
Sir.
any final words for the fans before we sign off?
Hey, I hope you guys all enjoy the card this weekend. A lot of crazy shit going on in the world. So hopefully it's kind of take everything away from that and just, have a good time with your your family, friends, loved ones. I'm gonna be watching with loved ones.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks again, man. I appreciate you letting me talk about this stuff. I could talk about this stuff all day. I mean,
Yes, sir.
takes my mind off everything. So I appreciate it, man.
That's what I'm talking about. We appreciate you, and we will see you guys all at the top. Take care.
Let's go. Boom.